Hello. You all right? Who's come out for comedy tonight? Who's come out so they don't have to put the heating on at home? No, genuinely, I've driven over from Manchester. I think it's cost me less in petrol to get here than it would be to put the radiators on at home. It's lovely to be here, though, in Liverpool. It's half term next week, though, and I've got 2 children, so frankly, it's lovely to be anywhere that is not my house or soft play. Are we all familiar with soft play? Yeah. Oh. We're going to be doing a lot of soft play next week. It's the worst place in the world. They are filthy, soft plays. People think that COVID came out of Wuhan. Somebody in a bat, or it's leaked from a lab. It didn't. It came from soft play. Because, no, genuinely, soft plays are the perfect mix of, like, piss, sweat, and shit coffee. You could brew any virus in there, to be honest with you. And like, I've got a 6-year-old, right? He's at soft play parties all the time because he's got a better social life than I have. Do you know what's ruining kids' birthday parties, though? Vaping. No, I'll tell you why, right? Because he's 6, right? So we had his birthday party a few months ago, and you know when you get the cake out and you get the candles and you realise you've forgotten any matches, and so you go, has anyone got a lighter to light these candles? I go, oh, Auntie Christine smokes. She'll lend you her lighter. Christine, can I borrow your lighter, please? Oh, I don't smoke anymore. Probably for the best, Christine, to be honest with you. No, I vape now. And she handed me this thing. I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I can't light candles with watermelon-flavoured fog, can I? It's all right, it's fine. I'll get a bit of kitchen roll. I'll screw it up and I'll light it on the hob instead. Oh, shit, it's an induction. So it's fine. It's fine. He'll just have to pretend because nobody wants a cake that's been spat on by a 6-year-old anyway. Do you remember, like, during COVID, we stopped putting candles on people's cakes because we thought, oh, you know, having your cake pre-spat on by a child was probably not a great idea. And we seem okay with that again now. So I had it last week, COVID. I'm all right now. Don't worry, guys, on the front row. No, I had it. Genuinely did. And in 2020, when I had it last time, I thought I was going to die. Not because I was really ill, just because that's what the newspapers told me. I was so worried. This time, I was like, well, this is retro. I reacted to getting COVID last week the same way I reacted when I found out Atomic Kitten were going back on tour. But everything comes back around, doesn't it? Like bucket hats and cargo pants and COVID. It's all. And the last time, though, I didn't know what to do. Because last time I had COVID, I had to get in the car and drive to a leisure centre car park and go and stand in a tent and have some woman called Sandra shove a stick up my nose. So I thought, well, maybe that's just what you do. So I did it again. I drove to the leisure centre and I was like, where are all the tents? Because like last time I was here, it was like a big shit garden party with loads of marquees. And absolutely nothing this time. And I realised at that point it's been 3.5 years since I last went to the gym. Luckily, I've managed to keep my trim figure. Wasn't a joke. I don't know why you're laughing at that one. It's just rude. I did go to the gym though, but I stopped because the gym was making me fat. Because I started joining this nice new gym. And they built it on a retail park next to a McDonald's. Because that's how they keep you going, isn't it? You put the Big Macs next to the treadmills, and I'm there going, I don't understand why these trousers still don't fit. It's hard, though, because, like, I remember this one time, I'd done a really, really intense workout, and I walked out of the gym, and I could smell the chips. And I thought, no. You've not just done 3.5 minutes on the treadmill. To walk straight into McDonald's. So, with all my willpower, I went and got in the car, drove the 25 metres to the drive-thru instead. What? No, don't judge me. I had DOMs, all right. McDonald's drive-thru, by the way, is the only place in the world where they give you your dessert 25 minutes before your main meal. Why are they doing that? Every single time they do it, pull up to the first window, pay, pull up to the second window, they go, there's your McFlurry, just go and park up and we'll bring the rest of it when we can be arsed. I'm like, yeah, okay. I almost gave myself hypothermia in November because I had the air conditioning on full blast just to try and keep it frozen. And they're rude as well at McDonald's. Anyone here work at McDonald's? No, good. They usually send some little 12-year-old lad out whose mum's bought his McDonald's uniform 3 times too big because hopefully he'll grow into it. And he walks over to the car with my little bag of food. And I open the window, post it through. He looks at me and he says, sorry about your wait. See you in a bit. I'm like, come this way if you want. I'm like, it's not your fault, but, you know, I will accept your apology. Well, so I had COVID. Do you remember when 2020, when we were all waiting outside the supermarkets, waiting for the red and green lights, like we were on the log flume at Alton Towers, and it goes green, and you go toilet roll. Oh, shit, no one left. Washing your shopping. We were all washing our shopping in 2020. I was taking my pot noodle home and washing them. It's taking ages until my wife pointed out you just need to wash the packet. You don't need to empty them all out. You know what I like though in shops now is they have those little COVID memorials, like those little stands with hand sanitizers that have not been filled for 2 years. And it's like force of habit for me. I go in and I'm like that. Oh, there's nothing in them now. My hand's more dirty than when I came into the shop. So then I have to shop one-handed, like I've lost the use of the right-hand side of my body. They said, didn't they, COVID was going to change our lives. We're going to change the way that we lived because of COVID. And it did for about 6 months. Like dirty men were washing their hands after they'd had a piss in a public toilet. I went for a wee before I came on stage. Pardon you. I went for a wee before I came on stage, and I can tell you that is not the case now. And so I can see women looking around going, I hope you wash your hands before you got me this wine. The only thing I can think of that has really stuck around since COVID was now when you go into Pizza Hut, you still have to order using a QR code. Well, QR codes are shit, aren't they? Like, because by the time you've gone right in, you've gone far away, you tried to get the right angle, you might as well have just typed in the whole address. That's the only thing. And do you know what? Do you want to know some interesting facts about QR codes? Of course you do. This is where it turns into more of a TED talk than a comedy gig, all right? QR codes were invented in 1994. 6 years before the first smartphone, which was only available in Japan. So what were people doing for 6 years? Like taking Polaroids of QR codes, just smashing them with their Nokia 3210. There's no website, it's not coming up. There's nothing I can do. So that's QR codes. If anybody wants any more information about QR codes, just see me afterwards, all right? I'll be waiting with Wikipedia. So I've been married for 10 years. Anyone thinking about getting married that is not married yet? No? Okay. To be honest, some movement over there. Who's thinking about getting married? Josh, have you proposed? Not yet. Right. Well, listen, people will want to give you advice about being married. And it's all shit, all right? Let me give you some actual advice that'll be helpful for you, all right? Marriage is passively aggressively changing the settings on everything that you own for the rest of your life. That's what it is, right? I cannot get in the car after my wife has been in without her having Move the seat all the way forward, tilted it all the way back, move the steer... Sorry. Move the steer... Move the steering wheel... It's all right, they're filming this. We'll freeze frame this. Move the steering wheel down, and no matter what the weather is, the sun visor will be there for me to smack my head on every time I get in. Okay, so that's that. What else does she do? The toaster. Do you know how long it took me to get the toaster to the right setting? Hours and hours I spent trying to twiddle that little knob. Stop making up your own jokes. Twiddling that little knob to get it golden brown, crunchy, yet soft. And she comes in and she goes, 10. And you might think, well, that's fine because she likes burnt toast, but she doesn't, Josh. She likes it the same way that I like it, but she pops it up before it's finished. The shower, Josh. Don't ever have a shower after your wife, Josh, because there's a button in there that does a temperature that I didn't know it did. Women's showers are so hot. I went in and I was like, what have you been doing? Boiling a lobster? What's that? So there you go, there's some advice for you, Josh. How you feel about marriage now? Yeah? Good. Well, you know, I'm glad I could help. We've got 2 kids, and I remember the birth of my first child. Any midwives in? No. Midwives are all liars. So even if there were any in, they wouldn't have said yeah. Midwives are all liars because, listen, I remember rushing my wife into hospital when she went into labour. And we got put into a little room. And the midwife said to me, she had a little look down the business end. And she went, you're doing really well, you're nearly there. I was like, oh, brilliant, we'll be home by tea time. 2 hours later, another midwife comes in. There's a little look down the business end. She goes, you're doing really well. You're nearly there. So that's a bit strange. Anyway, this happened every 2 hours for the next 24 hours. Until the first midwife came back. She'd been home, finished her shift. She'd been out for burritos and watched Paddington 2 at the cinema. She told me that, I didn't ask. She said, what have you been up to? Mainly this. She's been there panting and, well, I mean, I went and got some Watsits and went for a wee, but that's pretty much it. And she went, you're doing really well, you're nearly there. I said, don't take the piss. Don't take the piss. 36 hours she was in labour for. 36 hours. And the doctor that delivered our first child, he said to me after the baby was born, he looked at me and said, would you like to cut the umbilical cord? I said, sorry. He said, would you like to cut the umbilical cord? I said, I've been awake for 2 days. I had a conversation with a defibrillator a couple of hours ago. I'm that tired. And you want me to perform human surgery? You went to medical school for years for this. Have a bit of confidence in yourself. I failed GCSE woodwork because I couldn't cut a straight line with a safety saw. No, I don't want to cut the umbilical cord. And then, when you leave with your baby, they give you this tiny little bundle of joy, and you pop it in a car seat, and you have no idea what to do with it. But it's yours now, and you've got to look after it. And as we walked out of the hospital, I got a bit emotional. And my wife said to me, are those tears of joy? And I looked at her in the eye and I said, no. I've just realised that we've been parked in the hospital car park for 40 hours. Liverpool, thank you very much. Good night.